Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is One-on-One with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, man, we have a very, very dope individual, man. We have comedian, content creator, resident Blerd, man. We have the one and only Keenan Baker. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what up, y'all? What's going on? What's cracking, y'all?
Man, you know what? I don't know what it is, but I get excited when I find another Blerd just in general. Just because it's like, yo, we get to chop it up about things. There's certain things that's like, oh yeah, you know, oh I know that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's going to be that, and that's why I'm excited to have like just this conversation in general. But before we get into it, one of the things that I realized is that either you are Future Trunks or Todoroki in real life. And let me tell you why. Because I'm a military brat as well. You're a military brat. Mm-hmm. One of the rules that your pops had was that if you get into a fight, you can't come back into the house until you win. And that is an anime origin in every way. When I saw that, I said he is Todoroki or Trunks. Like pops is either Vegeta, but it was like, you know, it is that. And you know, being a military brat, like I said, I understand a lot of things. And, you know what I'm saying? My pops was in the Air Force and Army. We traveled the world. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, what was your experience growing up, you know, as a military brat?
Yeah, my pops was a Marine, man. And, you know, it was one of those things like, you know, you had to make new friends a lot, you know what I'm saying? And that's where hurt. Luckily, we didn't move a lot across state lines a lot. We just had to move different cities in California. We lived in New York. We lived in New York for a second because that's where my dad is from, and then we moved out here in California. But like, man, it was rough. Like, yes, if you say yeah, oh boy, good luck.
Oh yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. One of the things that I always tell people, and it's funny because I still do it to this day to my kids, is that like you would clean up and then your dad will come in and look. And then I don't know if your dad did it, but my dad, he'll find everything that wasn't where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Put it all in the middle and say, clean it up again. And I was like, yo, man, I just cleaned up.
Yeah, he didn't put it in the middle, but definitely he let you know like, oh, this is not clean. Do you think this is clean? No, you straighten up. That's called straightening it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now, I don't have any children yet. You know, me and the wife can probably be working on that next year. But like, I know for me, man, to be honest with you, once I got out of the house, I was like, I'm not doing it this way. But then now I'm married to a germaphobe. Yeah. He's not having this. I'm just like, oh, I'm back in the same goddamn boat, man. So
there's certain things that stick and certain things that don't. Like the cleaning habits stuck with me. The way my dad cleaned and his standard, like that's my standard, right? But there's certain things that I'm like, I ain't doing that. Like, you know, because it's like, you know, like you said, military people they're so conditioned. We got to do it this way. And my dad used to have this slogan, there's a place for everything and everything in this place. So it's like, you know, it's like, that's how they operate. It's very scheduled and everything like that. So once I got out the house, like I said, I moved out when I turned 18, fresh out high school. I said, I am out. I'm getting me an apartment. I got to do my thing. And now that I look back at it, because my brother, he did it. My brother, who also does the podcast with me, he went to college, you know what I'm saying? So he still stayed with them. He stayed at the dorms. When he graduated, he came back, stayed with them for another 2 years. And I was like, I should have did that route because I struggled. Those first 6 years out the house, man. Listen, I had the most ramen that you can find. But again, that's another military thing. You learn how to chef up some ramen. You learn how to use that microwave.
You know how to survive in general. And that's the thing. I definitely used the microwave was life. And I kind of did it more. I kind of did it more like my older brother did it more like you did. And then I did it more like your brother did. Like I was like, yo, I ended up going to college. I did stay in the dorm for a second. But when I came back, I went to an HBCU, Alabama State. Yeah. And then I came back to Cal State Dominguez Hills. And when I came back here, I stayed with my dad again. And, I was just like, oh man, when you 20 and when you 19, 20 something, and the rules are back on you, you like, fam, like I was saving money. My dad was the type of person like, yo, as long as you go to school, I ain't tripping on you having to really, really work like that. Rent's good. Just go take your ass to school and you good. You said we can cuss on here or no?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. So like, yeah, I was just like, all right, cool. So it helped me a lot, man. And, it got me a closer relationship with my dad for sure.
Oh, that's dope. I mean, like I said, the new relationships you have when you're grown with your parents is a different relationship. Like, my family, we had a family reunion probably like 7 years ago. That was the first time ever that I drunk with my mom. You know what I'm saying? And we shared a drink. We was at, because we did it. We rented out like this huge hotel, and all the family that came from like the South and everything, we all stayed in that hotel. And even though we're from Milwaukee, it was here in Milwaukee. We stayed in the hotel with it, so to be with the family. So of course the hotel bar, me and my mom had some drinks and everything like that. And then so now every now and then, like I said, I'll go over to mom's house. We'll have some mimosas. We'll have some drinks, whatever like that. It's like, but it's this different relationship that I had with my mom. And then me and my dad, like I said, my dad is funny because, you have this sense of how military men are. Right.
Yeah.
So then later on in life, I find out like my dad, he likes trash TV. You know what I'm saying? Like he likes, and then but he also loves like Game of Thrones. He's watching Marvel stuff. So I'm like, I did not have this connection with you as a kid, but now we talking about like, hey, did you see She-Hulk? Yeah. So it's like, it's been a dope experience.
And I mean, yeah, I feel like maybe it might be a military thing. It might be a black dad thing. I'm not sure, but it's like, I feel like, our parents wanted to be, make sure like hey, I ain't your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was me. I ain't your little friend out here. I'm your father. And it's just like, yo, I mean, but I want to do stuff with you, Bob. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it was very similar to like my dad in that sense, where it's just like, the older I've gotten, it's just like, oh, we kind of connect on this. We talk about this, both my father and I, we both went to, therapy separately, but like, we talk about therapy a lot, but hey man, so I went through this, talk about this. And he's like, yeah, man, I remember when I stopped doing therapy, my dad was like, hey man, it's like breaking up with your girlfriend, don't it? I was like, oh man, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you start having these connections about different things that you might either watch or that you're into, or just discussions, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, we don't get that until they get older, which is like, I at least I plan on doing that differently when I have children, being like, yo, I want to be more of an open book to my children when they ask me questions. It's not like, yo, I'm your father. You're going to know that and respect that. But like, you can ask me. I want you to be able to ask me anything. You know what I'm saying? And I answer it honestly.
Yeah. So, on this platform, one of the things that we like to do is make sure that we give people their flowers just for their walk of life, what they did and things like that. And, I've had the pleasure of interviewing a lot of comedians on my platform. And I have such a high respect for you guys, right? Because like, I'm talking about to the point where like I've interviewed, some, a lot of your peers, Tahir, Tony. I mean, not Tony. I want to get Tony, Tahir, Kev, CP, CT, the list goes on. And like I'm a part of a lot of their like, the stage crew, the More Mob and stuff like that. So I've been able to see like even the what goes into like a set. Like how you guys create a set, and then like you may work it out, and then your peers help you punch it up. You know what I'm saying? And then listening to your guys' podcast, just in general, anytime that you're featured on a podcast, and it's just getting that insight to the comedians and everything like that. And then like actually, like I said, when you see how like a joke is formed, and then seeing you guys perform it and everything like that, it's like that is something that is amazing. And the fact that you've been doing this since 2009, because like that's a lot of ups and downs. That's a lot of like, okay, you got to go through that circuit. There's a lot of you may bomb this night. There's a lot of like, hey, this joke ain't hitting. It hit in 5 cities, but then the 6th city, it's cricket. So it's like, yo, man, it's like, and then I love how like just even in general, your creator persona and how you're just like, when I was doing the research, going back into like one in this age of like Twitter and stuff like that, where everything is documented, seeing how much you was championing like anime and being black in anime and just being a black person who enjoys this way back when to now where things are going crazy, where we're seeing Blerd culture continue to grow and everything like that. I just want to say, man, from the community to you, bro, we appreciate everything that you bring to this community. Is one of the things that I love is that seeing Black folks embrace it. You know, even with, like I said, you got the hat that's Dragon Ball Z inspired. It's
Yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
like that. Like, it's like, yo, like, it's just so dope to see. So I want to make sure, you know, man, the Blerd culture definitely appreciates all your contribution and everything that you bring in, and especially to the comedy game, bro.
Oh man, that's a lot. Appreciate it. First of
Yeah.
all, I always feel weird getting compliments. I never know how to take them. I'm always like, all right. You know, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's just like it's one of those things that I got on young, and it's just one of those things like, you know, I never was ashamed of it. I know some people kind of hide it. I know some people growing up, they always feel like, you know, they got made fun of. And, you know, luckily, one, I got a sharp tongue, you know what I'm saying? I can snap back. But two, in reality, I didn't really get made fun of a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I was always the first person, but hey, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this. Even to the people that I didn't think would like them, like, trust me, you know what I'm saying? It's fire, you know what I'm saying? So like, I appreciate everybody's contribution too. It's like I love the fact that the culture is getting so big right now, and we're all contributing in different ways. You know, man, woman, it's like we're all doing it.
Yeah.
We're all showing love to each other, and I feel like, you know, we got, I think RDC World got their own con.
Oh man, I was going to tell you about that because we went. So we, as Geek said, we go to conventions and cover as press, right? And we've been doing the podcast thing for 5 years, and then we started interviewing people in 2020 when the pandemic hit, because we didn't want to lose the edge, and we was like, well, let's start interviewing people, right? Because throughout these conversations that I keep on having with people, I realized it is that, like you said, you were fearless in your blerdom. I was fearless in my blerdom. I met a lot of people who were, but there were a lot of people who had to hide it, who had that. I kind of had to shun it, right? But when you find an opportunity to talk about it, you light up, right? You know what I'm saying? So at that point, we was like, yo, we want to be the place that blerds go to be celebrated, right? Because like, you think about it this way, there's so many podcasts, and I love them all because like I'm a fan of it. So I'll be watching these podcasts, I'll be listening to them. There's so many content creators like RDC World, King Vader, Pierre Steps, Kiera Please, stuff like that, right? But I said the one thing that that's not out here, and this is what Geek said is trying to be, is we're trying to be the Breakfast Club of blerd culture. Like, and to put it in perspective, as an actor, when you do something and you get a new movie or a new show, you want to hit that late night circuit. As a rapper, you want to hit the Breakfast Club, you want to hit Sway's Universe, I-95. But let's say if you a really dope cosplayer, outside of going to a convention or posting a picture, you really don't have a moment to really talk about your process to be celebrated. If you are a person who's an animator, right? Outside of if your animation gets a big hit, you don't really have a place that you can go to say, hey, I'm working on this. And so we started doing that, where it was like, yo, we want to be the place where people's like, yo, oh, I got this going on. All right, I got to go talk to Geek Set. So then we started what's called, we're doing a documentary called the Black Geek Documentary. And we're talking to the culture, we're navigating the culture, but it's pretty much going to be that documentary about the geek experience from the Black side, right? So we started it off at DreamCon, and we went to C2E2, we went to Crunchyroll Expo. We're just going to convention, talking to the culture, because we don't want it to only be celebrity driven. Because like one of our cinematographers, his name is King. He's a barber by trade. And you know, you've been to barbershops. It's always like you go to the barbershop, it's like, okay, we're gonna debate about some basketball, we're gonna talk about some hip-hop, some movies. You go to his barbershop, it's anime filled. And then on the TV screen, it's anime. So he's putting people on. And I said, yo, this is the culture. And I was like, we want to talk to the people like that as well, right?
Yeah.
But this is the moment, and the reason why I wanted to tell you about DreamCon, because knowing that you were Blerd, I was like, bro, you should definitely try to make next year's DreamCon because what impressed me about it was everything was us, bro. Like you go to conventions or conferences, the talent that they had was all blerds, whether it was a big Twitch streamer, a cosplayer, whatever like that. It was just all blerds, right? The security was black. It was black men and black women, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing that we laughed about, it was older black men and older black women, because you know, in the black community, we ain't gonna talk to the older men. We ain't gonna talk to the elders any type of way. So it was a high level of respect. And then like I don't know if you ever been to a convention, but like, you know, convention, the joke is that it be musty around them. But you know how black folks, we don't play about our smells. When I
Yeah.
tell you it smelled like cocoa butter and all the shea, like it smelled so good in this convention. Like it was dope. And then the biggest moment, and this is what gave me really confidence about this documentary we're working on. And I was like, I want people to experience it. So, one of my hosts, he cosplays. He's our resident cosplayer. So we go out there. He's out there. He went out there as Kakashi, right? I'm talking about with the Sharingan and everything. So as we walking through Artist Alley, we see this dude draped up. I'm talking about looking like the Migos, big jewels, chains, and everything. So in Black community, be like, "Hey, nigga, I see you shining."
Yeah.
He like, "Dog, you got the Sharingan," and I said, "Yo, this is the culture. This is somebody that you wouldn't even expect, like anime. We complimented him over his jewels shining. He's complimenting on the accuracy of this cosplay that is anime." Right. And I said, "This is something that." And I say it all the time, but this is something that if white people was to try to report on this culture, they wouldn't get that moment. They wouldn't understand why that moment was significant. So I was like, we got to do this. And so like, as we're talking to the community, and one of the questions that we asked is like, yo, if you heard that there was a documentary about Blerd culture and Black geeks, what is one thing that you would say that if that is not in this documentary, this is not a true representation of our culture? And we do that because we know that we want it to be a pride point. We want to do this responsibly and everything like that. So it's like it's an experience like no other, bro. Like if you ever get a chance or you get that opportunity, some freedom in your schedule, definitely come out to DreamCon and just experience it, bro. It's really dope. Like somebody had a kickback. And this was the first kickback ever where it's like we drinking, there's dominoes being played, spades being played, but the main conversation you hear is debate over anime. You hearing, "Hey, but Yu Yu Hakusho though," you know what I'm saying? And this is like, yo, this is a different experience that as a Black person, I was like, I was just, it was like, I uncovered Wakanda. I was like, yo, this is home. This is me.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's what it is. It's like, I'm a sports guy too. And it's just like, I've had these debates about sports, basketball, football, and stuff like that. And it's like now, we had these debates about anime too, like you said. It's like we be arguing and, we be going at it. And, I remember, I think it was in Arizona and Griffey came out, Long Beach Griffey. He came out. Okay. He came out to see Tony Baker. And he came back to the green room with us. And, my boy Ice is also, on the Animation podcast, right?
Yep.
He was one of the openers too. And Ice, he just, for some reason, he hates One Piece. He hasn't even seen it before, but he hates One Piece, right? And Griffey's a big One Piece guy. So, yes, he is. And then Ice is a Naruto guy. So he's real big on that. I haven't seen either one, to be honest. I seen a little bit of Naruto. I saw the episode list. I'm like, hey, man, I ain't doing this.
That's your anime blasphemy. Because I was going to ask you, what is your blasphemous anime take? Not watching those, yeah.
Yeah, now I started Naruto, so I gotta get back into it. But I'm just like, yo, this is hundreds of episodes. I'm just like, oh god. But like, so they started going back, who's the best protagonist and stuff like that, and out of their favorite anime. It's just like, yo, they were having like a real life heated, like, yo, no, you don't know what you're talking about, like, and it's just like, of course, there's no violence about to happen like that, but it's like, but it's the same. It was like the same energy. The barbershop energy, we talk about sports and stuff like that, it's the same energy. I started to see that a lot with us, who were just like, yo, it's a friendly but competitive like argument. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. You get to add your little 2 cents and it's great.
Yeah. Well, see, and again, like I said, one of the reasons why we started, because I'm like, that's that. Like, to the outside looking in, if me and you debating, I'm like, yo, man, get the fuck out of here, dog. And people gonna be like, yo, they about to fight, but you ain't taking no offense. You like, nah, nigga, you get the fuck out of here. Let me tell you this. Like, that's just how we talk. It's that passion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's passion. It's not anger. There's no anger in there.
It's exactly. Passion, man. So, but like I said, it's been a dope thing to be like a blur now, because and the reason why I equate hip hop culture and blur culture, because I tell them like both cultures are similar in so many ways. Blur, when you were nerd, you was outcasted at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
When hip hop first came out, people was like, that ain't real music.
Right.
Then as you see the growth and everything, like right now in today's world, if whatever you're doing doesn't have either hip hop elements or based off of a graphic novel or a book or a comic book, you kind of got like a hard start. Hip hop and And nerd culture is running the world right now. Everything is based off of a book, based off of a graphic novel, based off of a comic book. Like, and everything has a little bit of hip hop in it, whether it's the clothes, the dance, the feel, the way you talk, the swag. Like, it's lovely to see.
Well, I mean, I think because it is too, like hip hop is, we created that culture, right?
Yeah.
And then hip hop now is, you got to say, man, it's a part of American culture. It's a big part of American culture. You know what I'm saying? It's like we influence a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so now comic books, and even if they wasn't hip hop influence, they gotta be at least a little bit, because we're going to go see these movies, we're spending our money. We kind of dictate the culture. We make things cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's. I'm with you. I saw Geek said, I was like, Geek said, why does it sound familiar? And then I saw your graphics. I was like, oh, Dipset, and I'm just like, you understand? So I grew up on Dipset. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's huge to me. That's great.
Well, see, and that's the one thing. It also like knowing that. So when we first came up with Geek Set, that's what we was like. All right, hip hop and geek culture. So we went through a whole bunch. We were like, all right, what groups is out here? We tried to flip Mobb Deep. We tried to flip Wu-Tang and everything like that. And then when we came up with Geek Set, I said, yo, that'll be fire. And it's what I love about it is because we'll walk around, we'll have our shirts, whatever like that. We'll have the logo, and immediately Black people with grabs like, yo, and you know what I'm saying? Then and what I love about it is like the way I designed the logo. As you look further into it, you're like, oh, wait. So instead of the money in the eagle hands, it's the PlayStation and the Xbox controller. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you seeing the way that the words are, you seeing the logos. Like, I'm like, yo, this is everything in regards to it. But then, like I said, you were running into so many more people that do things like that. Like, one of the you learn about Urban Anime Lounge, which is this huge collective that's doing a whole bunch of dope things, right? You're learning about Black Anime Pods, you're learning about Blanime Podcast. Like, there's all these podcasts that got these flips about Black culture, hip-hop culture, and anime. It's just like, yo, and that's the thing, is like you said earlier, we're all connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing conversations on Twitter with everybody chopping it up. I'm seeing you featured on other people's podcasts. I'm seeing, like, it's just like, yo, this is dope. And I was like, I don't want somebody to report on it incorrectly, somebody from the outside, just because they see it. Because truthfully, with the way that this culture is going, there is money to be made in this culture. And somebody's going to be like, yo, all right, I'm going to invest, but then but it's going to be somebody that not of the culture. And I was like, if we can do that. And that's why I said, wait, one of our missions is to be the help amplify it, because there's a lot of dope people doing dope things. And you know what I'm saying? I want to build that atmosphere. Like, if y'all podcasts have a huge major guest on, then I can be like, oh, yo, did y'all see animation? Like, yo, they did this. And then, but the people know, like, oh, snap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like with the hip hop podcast, like how you hear the Joe Buttons and Rap Radar and Brilliant Idiots and, $1 Million Worth of Game, they reference each other. And because the community is what the community is, people are like, oh, it's like, oh, I get that reference. Oh yeah, I remember that on that one episode. Like, I want that within the Blerd culture. Like, if y'all say something and we bring it up as a topic based off of y'all's, people be like, oh yeah, animation, they was talking about that. Let me hear Geek Set take on it now. Or that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to continue to build that type of stuff, that type of space. And I think that we're working towards it very well as far as a collective in general. Like, we seeing the things that you guys are doing. I'm loving y'all guys, like how you guys are dedicating to rewatch series, or and they kind of give y'all reviews on it and everything, because everybody has their angles.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Even when we first started the podcast for you, I think it was 2018 we started the podcast, and it was really just like the other guy that's on it, Brennan. He has a production company called Transit Pictures, and he works with Kevin State Studios.
Yep.
So they kind of like merged, and so I was just talking to him, and we talk about anime all the time, and he's like a big anime guy too. So he's just like, hey man, why don't we open up a podcast studio here? Why don't we just do like an anime podcast?
Right.
And it was just always supposed to be me, and then me and Rob, really. And then so we kind of started from there and just went from there. And then Brennan was on it too. And then so we kind of went from there just to talk about like what's going to be, how we're going to do. We want to kind of differentiate ourselves from every other podcast. And some podcasts still review, but it was like, all right, let's try to review anime that we might not have seen, some of the classes that we want to miss. We can't review Naruto because it's so long. But we try to do it. We try to do like a season of a podcast, a season of the show. And then we kind of review it in blocks of 4, whatever the case may be. So and then we review movies, do random topics, and sometimes we done anime drafts, but it's like we try to just give all different takes where, I like the fact that we're all doing different things and some similar things, you know what I'm saying? Because we do it in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day, it's bringing attention to us doing it as Black people. And I love it.
What was the anime that you watched that you went in thinking like, I don't know about this one, and it shocked you?
And it shocked me. I can't say, I don't know if I have any fully, well, I guess Promise Neverland shocked me.
That's a solid one. I didn't know what I was going to get into watching Promise Neverland. Like, I used to hear a lot of people talk about it. I got into Promise Neverland late. And that was one of those ones where I was like, I don't really know what I'm about to get into with this one. Because everybody the way people would explain it to me, they didn't really explain it. They didn't really sell it. And so,
and it's good it didn't sell because the selling point is the big reveal.
Yeah.
And so like it was the same thing with me. It was like people like we had an anime group chat on Instagram at one point, and it was just like people kept saying, "Promise Neverland, you gotta watch it." I'm just like, I know when we watch trailers, I'm like, yo, send me the YouTube trailer or whatever for this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like kids running around. It's like I'm an action guy. Like I'm really big, heavy into action anime.
Yeah.
I'm like, that shit look corny, bro. And then somebody was just like, trust me, watch the fucking show. I was like, all right, man. It's somebody I trusted. So I think it was Brennan and myself. We watched it and we were like, we called each other like, yo, what the fuck just happened? And I haven't watched season 2 because I heard season 2 doesn't really follow the manga like that. Yeah. But like when we finished season 1, our jaws were just like, this is wild. Right. This is crazy. So yeah, that's one. I kept hearing about Yu Yu Hakusho because I missed that train. I missed that boat when it, and a buddy of mine, he's big on it. I was like, all right, this shit look, the animation style is old, it's gonna be hard to watch. And I was just like, yo, I like Yusuke. He's about these hands and he's about these hands.
He's about these hands. That's all he's like. He's all about these hands and everything.
Yo.
So you touched on something like, so I'm big on action as well. Like I'm all action. So because of the podcast and being in this, I said, you know what? I'm gonna force myself to watch more slice of lives and stuff like that. So I started off with Way of the House Husband. And when I tell you, like, yo, that show is my show. Have you ever tried that
really?
One?
No. I don't do a whole bunch of slice of lives because it's like, even for the podcast, we do a new thing now in the pod where it's just like we give it a few episodes and then we give it either a thumbs up or a thumbs down to keep going, so we don't have to go through a whole season if it's trash. But yeah.
So I'm gonna give you the synopsis. I don't know. Do you know about Way of the House Husband?
No, I don't. But here's the thing: I'm not necessarily. I can do spoilers because I don't really trip about spoilers. And if you want to tell me like kind of like the big reveal, there's
really no big reveal because the slice of life don't never normally have a big reveal. But what it is this notorious hitman. Like he's part of the Japanese mafia and everything like that, and he's retired. And so he gets married. And he is dedicated to be the best house husband in the world. So he takes the same type of dedication and militant that he did as a hitman to house husband duties. So like she'd be like, oh, I need to mow this. I need this lawn mowed by the time I get home. And he's like, okay, I got you. And then he just go crazy with it and everything. Like, it's just like everyday scenario. He approaches it like a dedicated hitman. And then when he fells his wife, he takes it to the stream like, kill me now. Like it's just a funny time. And I'm just like, this I actually rock with. And then I started watching some of the sports animes. I consider, even though they're shonen, a lot of them are shonen, they're still, and this action is still really slice of life because the action is just how they treat basketball or volleyball or whatever. So yeah. But it's been a decent ride. I've been finding some gems that I'm like, okay, I probably wouldn't have watched this outside of now that I'm doing I'm trying to expand my anime realm. But it was like, yeah, there's a couple solid slice of life that's out there, bro.
I mean, we watched. I know people might kill us for this, and because they love this show. A lot of people love this show, but Kuroko no Basket.
Yes.
And we watched the first season and we were, man, it was hard for all of us, to be honest with you. Because especially since I hooped growing up, I didn't play college ball. I played high school ball. And I was like, I feel like I study hoop. You know what I'm saying? So watching it, it had funny moments like 3-pointer. Kuroko, I guess he's kind of like a Jason Kidd type, you know what I'm saying? Or like Jason Williams or whatever. But it was just it was I don't know, but I guess I was expecting a little bit more. And I was just like, all right, man, I don't know if I can keep. I think it's like, I don't know how many seasons is it now, like 5 or more,
it's
seasons.
there,
yeah, I'm just like, I can't do 5 seasons of this. So
when I went into these sports anime ones, I said, okay, I'm going in it really not knowing what I'm getting into, right? And like it's still part of this journey. And what kept me was like, bro, why are they so intense about every little bit move that's happening in it? Like you do a crossover and they gotta have the anime monologue where like, I can't believe it. How fast is he? And I was like, yo, this is hilarious.
And that's typical anime, so I'm not necessarily mad at it. And it's funny, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's how he knew he went left 3 times and now he goes right. Wow, how did this happen? It's just like it's cheesy, but it's also fun. I mean, we watched Megalobox. I like Megalobox a lot.
Megalobox is my shit.
Yeah, so we rock pretty heavy with Megalobox. And I was just like, and I heard I love boxing too. I'm a big boxing fan. And I heard I think it's I forgot what it's called, but No Ippo or something like that, or Ippo. So they said that's probably the best boxing anime, probably one of the best sports animes of all time. And I was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna when I get a chance, I'm gonna check that out because I've heard nothing but great things about it across the board.
And like I said, the sports anime, I literally just started getting into those probably like 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm just like, yo, I've been enjoying them. Like I said, because it is like I said, it's everything that you love about Dragon Ball Z, or like Bleach or whatever, but add it to sports. It's like you know what I'm saying. It's the power ups because like even in it's the Kuriko's basketball, like that one, like there's the guy, he got like unlimited range. Like he
he was shooting from like full court. I'm like, and it's like saying there's like 3-pointer. I was just like, oh god.
So it's like, yo, it's like it's wild and everything like that. So it's like it's really dope, man. Like for me, like I said,
everybody has the stereotypical on what a black geek is. Are you familiar with the term blerd?
Blerd, no.
Right. Some people said it came off of Scrubs. Some people said it came off the internet. I don't honestly really know.
Don't you see the skin, the eyebrows, the hair?
Yo, my geeks still rock, you know what I'm saying, Dunks or Jordans or whatever.
Did I do that?
It's exciting. It's like, holy, oh my dog is gonna start barking.
It's all right.
She's excited about it too.
And same as you said, like a barbershop talk, like we would go into really in-depth conversations about these theories and like, well, what if and how come?
It's not unusual to be
right, but we talk about anime, video games, comic books and stuff like that, but when you hear us talk about it, the passion sounds like we arguing Jordan and Bron.
What do you mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Like it sounds like barbershop talk.
Because you don't know the history, don't mean it ain't happened, dog. You broke that down right there.
But when you see the black geek, you don't see that. You see the socially awkward glasses. Well, this is me. And that's not a lot of us. A lot of us do sound and talk like us. You know what I'm saying?
Because it becomes stereotypical, as if that's where our strength comes from.
I don't know the geek that you talked about before. I know the geek you're talking about right now, though.
It was sort of a call sign so we could find each other on message boards.
Anime gives you life lessons throughout that whole thing. Like, there's not one anime that I know of that doesn't teach you to never give up.
It's just like, I just love seeing us go into the world and go into these different spaces and create things that weren't there before. And then it was like Miles Morales is like the normal, black person in the United States.
That was my first Blerd moment, was seeing Storm on the X-Men cartoon series. And I was like, wow, that's a black woman and she's strong, she's powerful.
That's what I want for us. I want us to be that voice.
And then I'm also on this kick of watching animes with the long titles, you know what I'm saying? So I like watching The Strongest Mage is the Weakest Crest, or Full Dive. This RPG is shittier than real life. Like I'm watching a lot of those.
That's what an anime is called, for real?
Yeah, it's that Full Dive is actually dope. It's I think they're called Ichigais, if I'm not mistaken. The ones where it's like you go into a video game, like it's one of those type of animes,
kind of like Sword Art Online or something like that.
Yeah, definitely like Sword Art Online. And this one, the one art is called Full Dive. This RPG is shittier than real life. what I liked about this one was the twist. So the guy is it's based on video games. It's like this full dive, like this full immerges video game, right? You put it on, you're in it, right? So the new one's coming out and he wants to get it, but it's sold out everywhere. So he finds like little small rinky dink like video game store. And of course, anime going anime. They got the big breasted lady that's at the counter, and she convinces him. She was like, you want that one? Like she treated him like he a hype beast. And she's like, you need to get this game. This is the true game, right? So he gets the game, and it's an RPG game, and he gets in, and he's like, all right, this is it's pretty real and everything like that. And it's one of those games where he immediately does something that gives him like a red mark, like where like everybody in the game sees him like, oh yeah, you fucked up, like you know. So he's outcasted. So he's like, man, fuck this game. So he logs off, and then he's like, he tries to return, and she's like, well, we don't do returns. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna give it another shot. But he's like, I'm gonna start over. But when he gets in, it doesn't start over. You cannot start over. And if you quit the game, it also blows up your system. So you have to play the game and complete the game. Otherwise, your system gets destroyed. And so he's in the game thinking like it's a regular RPG. He's like, dang it, my health bad. He's trying to eat some herbs. And he's like, why is it not healing? And they're like, dude, this is like, you can't just eat the herb. You got to go to the hospital. He's like, wait, I got to go to the hospital? So then he's in the hospital. And then like, he's like, oh, I got to use the bathroom. He's like, wait, why do I really got to use the bathroom? He get in the bathroom. He's like, why does it really smell like shit? He's like, who wants this? So the RPG is just so real. And he's like, and now he's like, I got to finish this because I don't want my system to be destroyed. Like, it's a crazy ride, but it's like, I enjoyed that like a motherfucker.
I mean, and I feel like that's coming soon. I feel like that's coming to real life in the very near future. Some Black Mirror shit. You know what I'm saying? So like,
oh man, yeah.
That's the scary kind of about when I saw because I haven't seen that, but I watched Sword Art Online. I was just like, yo, this shit is not far from what's about to happen. Yeah.
And you know, I'm liking that we're getting more just far out stories. You know, I think that with anime culture, Japanese culture, with all these properties becoming bigger and bigger, it's giving more writers some shines. More studios are, you know, reaching out to people, and we're seeing a lot of more Black studios. Like I know that you were very, very critical about Yasuke and Cannon Buster.
Man, it wasn't like, yo, I feel like they both had the elements to be great. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't, you know, I made sure I actually didn't go as hard as I really.
Now you didn't go as hard, but I mean, I felt what you were saying about it.
Yeah, it was one of those things like, cause I go like, yo, you know how it is, and especially like in Hollywood, if one Black one doesn't succeed, they out of here.
They out of here.
Oh, you want another one greenlit? What do you mean greenlit? We're not greenlighting another one. Y'all, we gave y'all one, and y'all didn't support it. It was trash.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yo, we got to make sure when we're doing this, we got to make sure that we're trying to do it at the best of our abilities and get people from the culture that knows it for real. Like if you got to get some other, like some real blurs and real Black people in it, that's like, they've been doing this for like 20, 30 years, get them behind it to help write the story and make the story as strong as possible, make the story make sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my hot take, and I've been saying this a lot. Like, okay, Yasuke definitely was trash because we thought it was going to be a samurai anime, and it turns out to be a mech anime. It was kind of weird the way they promoted it and it rolled out.
Right.
But Keenan Buster, I give it a solid 6, and 6 is not bad. I think people, because and I don't know on your end if you experience or not, but I have a lot of conversation with people and they're quick to call something mid, right? But it's like the range of mid is off. Because it's like, if it's not a 10, if it's not Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, then they say, oh, it's mid. But they're equating mid to trash. And I'm like, no, a mid is like a 6 or 7. That's okay. I was like, for this to be the first Black anime or one of the first Black animes as a start as a 6, I'm okay with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like I said, Yasuke was really, I did not rock with that at all. But Keenan Buster, I get the criticism of it because it was really just a Cowboy Bebop remake.
Right. And but here's the thing about that is like, I feel like they gave us, you know, I wasn't surprised. Like I wasn't going in there watching and being like, what's happened? Why is it like you said? It was like we went into Yusuke like, all right, this is a samurai, and then it turned into a mech. You just like, what's going on here? So like, you know, I mean, I probably got to rewatch it with different eyes again. Like, you know, I'm probably sometimes when I watch something during a podcast too, I'm a lot more critical.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because you're watching it, we gotta rate it, we gotta write questions about it, we gotta give an honest critique about it. sometimes when I'm watching something, but sometimes like for me too, I need to be drawn in pretty quickly. Like either you need to left turn me, give me something heavy up front, something. Because it's like, I'll be like, man, it's just like starting me off slow in the first 3 or 4 episodes. Is just like, you want me to keep watching after 4 episodes was slow?
But you don't give him no grace because he's new. You know what I'm saying? Like this was his first.
Well, I mean, we did. We ended up watching the whole thing, and it was like, and I guess I think I was following the creator, so I was watching. Like I didn't necessarily read the comic or whatever, but I would see like that graphic art. So I'm just like, it just looked fire. Like I was just like, this looks incredible. And then even when I saw the trailer, I was just like, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't necessarily give Cowboy Bebop super high scores. You know what I'm saying? I think I got on a Bebop late too. Like I got on a Bebop. I didn't watch Bebop until like a few years ago, and it came out, of course, way before that. But like, I think if I would have caught Bebop when it first came out, I'd be like, oh, this is fire. When I watched it, I was just like, it's cool. Like it was straight. You know what I'm saying? I guess it would be considered mid, but like you said, mid is not bad, man. It's just like bad. It's not something you might not first recommend. When people ask me what should I watch as a starter anime, I normally probably would say like a Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, because I was like, if you don't like that, I don't really know what to tell you unless you don't like action. If you go like, I like more slice of life stuff, I'm like, all right, I got to find something else for you. Yeah. But if you like, I'm about that action, or just like I just want to see a good ass anime, I feel like with Demon Slayer, you can't necessarily go bad.
No. Now, have you watched all Attack on Titan?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Okay, so I got it because I like to ask everybody. Do you feel Aaron was wrong, or are you a Jaegerist?
I mean, it's tough, man, because it's like, like when you're getting fed, like it's like, it's like you're getting fed information. It's like you're being duped your whole life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, who do you feel is wrong?
I'm on Aaron's side through and through, because here's the thing: I got into Attack on Titan late. Like I see it on Adult Swim, and I'm like, all right, I get it. As you know what I'm saying, some Titans, whatever like that. Like I didn't think much of it, right? So when I finally watched it, and that first scene when that Titan eats Aaron's mom and the blood splatters on his face, they had me. I said, oh, whatever he about to do to these Titans, I want it done, right? And so I've been riding with them ever since then. I've never switched on them. Like even with the roar, I'm like, I mean, I get it. Like y'all kind of pushed them to this at this point. So
that's the thing. It's just like when you're watching something, it's like, especially if you have a family, you go, yo, if you do this to my family, like you have to pay.
Everything. I'm burning everything down.
I burn everything down. So it's just like, it's like I get it, but then when you get in the other end, they're being fed on their end like they're the devils. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so it's like, so you're like, we got to do this. Your mom had to go because y'all are the devils. And it's just like, if you're being fed that on that end, it's just like, somebody in the middle is okie doking all y'all.
Yeah, because that cycle is crazy. Because like I said, it's funny because like if you watch Attack on Titan and you're not on the Aaron side, you love Gabby. If you on Aaron's side, it's fuck Gabby.
Hey, man. Fuck Gabby. Well, we literally I was about to make fuck Gabby shirts.
Man, fuck Gabby, dog.
I do not like this little piece of shit.
I'm like, why is she so accurate? Why?
Yeah. And it's like, she keeps getting stuff done. I'm just like, somebody eat this little fuck. Please.
Like,
and it's like even when trying to convince her, I mean, we were watching it for the podcast, and we're just like, why don't you fucking get it? Like, it was frustrating because I feel like
so frustrating.
It's like at that age, I feel like I wasn't stupid or anything like that, but I feel like if you're giving me the information, I'm like, damn, they try to okie doke me.
Yeah.
Oh, so I would be, I would feel different, but she's so stubborn. But I get on her and it's just like, I just saw my friends die. Got killed by my friends. It's just like, it's just her. She's seeing how like Aaron saw it. You killed my mom. It's like, you killed my friends. You gotta go.
That's why I said that cycle is so crazy, man.
Yeah,
and
like it's wild.
Said, those Sundays when that was rocking, when it was Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan running in tangent, those were some of the best times because it was like Demon Slayer stepped it all the way up with the fight animations, with the drama. It was like, what is going on? Like Demon Slayer came out of nowhere. I feel like Like, because My Hero Academia was being set up to be the next big.
For sure. Yep.
And then Demon Slayer came out and said, I ain't trying to hear any of that. Like, look, it's here.
Because here's the thing, I didn't hear, and maybe they heard it more like, in Japan, but like I didn't hear too much hype about Demon Slayer's manga like that.
Me either.
So like when it before the animation came out, so I was just like, all right, man. Like I'm not. People say Demon Slayer. I think it was our boy on our podcast, Brennan. He watched the first episode. He's like, this is gonna be the next one, dog. I was like, after one episode, bro, stop it. You hyped My Hero. My Hero's good, but I was like, you hyped My Hero also. He's like, dog, I'm telling you, this is the next one. And then we started watching him like, this is the next one. And then when I read the manga, so I finished everything, and I'm like. And I say it all the time on everybody's podcast, anybody asks me, I'm like, yo, if Demon Slayer follows the manga, it can be the greatest anime of all time.
Yeah.
Don't deviate. Don't add filler.
Right.
None of that shit. Just follow exactly how it is. It can be the greatest of all time, in my personal opinion.
When Mugen Train dropped, that's when I crowned it up there. I said, oh my God, this is one of the best anime movies I've ever seen. Mugen Train was so fucking fire. It was just like, yo, this is, and I was like, and again, like I said, the animation style, Tanjiro, like just like it's everything. Like, Demon Slayer is up there heavily, and it's just like, yo, like when that, like I said, and then like I said, with the twists and turns that kept on happening in Attack on Titan, like them Sundays was wild, especially on like Blerd Culture and Blerd Community, like especially in Twitter. Oh my God, like
only thing that had me upset about Attack on Titan is it's like, all right. Final season part 1. Season part 2. I'm just like, finish the season. But I mean, I haven't read that manga, but I heard that it doesn't necessarily end the best. A lot of people are very upset about it.
Yeah,
so they're saying that they possibly might redo the ending. And I'm like, if you got to take your time to do that correctly, I don't mind. I'm not. I'm upset because it's just like, yo, Attack on Titan takes like a year and some change sometimes to come out. But it's just like, yo, okay, I get it. So it's like, take your time. If you got to rebuild the ending and get it different, then I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, but with Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, I feel like, with Demon Slayer, from what I read, there's no real filler. There's no. Yeah, it's like it's really just like they about that action. They go into the next shit. They got to train a little bit, and they go into the next shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
They literally, because like I said, you can say if you look at from the end of the first season, like the seasons, right, and then it goes to Mugen Train, and then it goes to the district. It was like, bro, y'all didn't have any rest. Y'all just went to y'all just kept on going.
They didn't get a chance to mourn their homie. No. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, all right, next, man, you got another mission. It's just like, can I breathe?
they had that one episode where they go meet his pops and everything like that. And like, all right, hey, we tried to help his brother and everything, but we got to get back. There's some shit going down right now. We got to get to that district, man. Like,
so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. I mean, there's so much stuff. I mean, I'm honestly waiting for the next, whatever's going to be the next Black anime too. I'm excited about that. I want whatever that's going to be, because at the end of the day, I'm going to still watch it. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's like, I'm going to support it because at the end of the day, it needs support.
Yeah. So speaking of the next Black anime, about a year ago, you said, you kind of floated out an idea about an anime that you would like to create, that you've had this idea for. I wanted to kind of follow up and say, have you made any additional progress? Have you reached out to any animators yet or anything?
No, it's like, because I when I get the story, like I feel like one is it's a little bit nerve wracking to when you're doing this and then you have like your peers kind of watching, you be like, all right, if I'm this harsh for critic, they're going to be hard. They're going to be a very hard critic on my thing, so it has to get done regardless. Yeah. But then also too, it's just like anime, it's just expensive, man. And right now I'm like, it's like I'm not even in the space to do that. To even right now get it like physically drawn. So it's like I got to go through. I got to, make sure I create the world the way I want to create the world. And it's going to take some research, because it's like, I kind of want to, if I do it, like, if I still do it this way, I wanted to kind of do it like, the Phoenix and the Phoenix and the Dragon Wars. And it's just like, it would kind of be a little bit a part of like, not fully the history, but like, that's kind of like how it's based on like different tribes, two different tribes, having to either come together, but like, they hate each other. And it's like, but they got to come together to be the strongest force, whatever. So it's like, it's a lot, man. It's that with comedy, with other stuff, I'm going to have to like take time probably away from doing everything else to focus strictly on that. But I promise it's going to come.
Yeah.
And, I feel like it's good that I'm not doing it now, because when I'm in a space to get the money for it, that's when it'll be the time to have it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put it out there, bro. One, Geek said we're going to report on it. We're going to make sure that we support you through and through, let the world know about it. But the one thing that I like, it's and again, I think it's the Black in us.
Yeah.
Because I've been interviewing so many people, and like I said, I make sure I interview animators, writers, people behind the scenes, and everything like that. At any given time, bro, if you ever like just float it out there and like, yo, y'all know any animators I can, let me know. I'll definitely make that connection, because the great thing about these interviews that I get to do is that I continue these conversations with these people, because we're talking about the culture, right? And so like, yeah, like even with our podcast, like we're revamping some things around our podcast, and one of the animators, do you remember when like the swagged out Simba and Scar and like Mark, his name is Marco Bernard, I interviewed him and he became the homie. So like he, I'm having him create some animated versions of us. Like we had our guy create superhero versions of us when we first started. Like this is one of our peoples,
That's fire, yeah.
Right. So now I was like, oh, let's dive into the anime. So I'm having my guy create, having him. But like I interviewed Big Teak, the guy that played Big Teak in P Valley. I don't know if you're watching P Valley, but he was
I haven't. Yeah.
All right, one of the actors, and he had this idea for a Black animation. And I was like, ooh, who would be fire if you like Carl Jones, the guy that co-created the Boondocks. And I was like, I interviewed him. I made that connection for them. And like now they're like, I don't know where it's going, because like again, I'm not asking for any type of praise or anything like that. But I like just like you, I want to see more Black stories. And if I can make any connection or help out in any given way, whether it is just introducing somebody like, yo, this person is a dope person who have a dope idea, this is a dope animator or a writer or whatever. Like I said, I utilize us, bro. Like I got your back, because like I said, I want to see everybody win like that, bro.
Well, I appreciate it. So now, I mean, knowing that and knowing to have that connection, it's like that's what you keep in the Rolodex. It's like this life is about networking too. It's about who you know to get things done. So it's just like, I appreciate that. So I'm going to definitely keep that in the pocket, to where it's like, all right, when I start getting stuff rolling, and maybe even somebody to even help fully flush out the idea, because the idea is not all the way flushed out too. So it's just like one of those things, like connecting with somebody, being able to help me on the writing side. Because like you said, I want to get the story. Yeah. I want to get the story done. I want the story to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I want the story to be strong. I want it to be, when I think about anime too, I feel like a lot of times our humor is not in anime. Like Black humor is not in anime like that. And I want Black humor to be in our anime.
Well, you want to know what's funny? And this blew my mind. So everybody don't watch a weird anime. It's like, all right, this one is a little bit too wild or everything like that, right? Way back when, there was this one anime, it's pure fan service, and I was like, I'm gonna just watch it just to kind of get through it, so I can say I watched a pure fan service one. It was called Mocking, and it actually had a decent story. It was like power-ups, stuff like that, but it was pure fan service. The humor in it, I said, do they got a Black writer? Because like there was this one character, like I said, pure fan service, but a lot of the voice actors was like Chris Sabat was in it, like the voice actress of Luffy was in, like it was like big names. And one of the characters, like her she was flat chested, so like that was, and everybody else was big chested, so that was a big thing to her, right? And I just remember like one of the girls was roasting her, and like the way that she said bitch please, but it was like the accuracy and the way that it came back, and then she was like, keep on talking, I'm gonna have to cut a bitch. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm like, wait, what is going on here? And so I was like, it'd be random animes that you like, those moments where you're like, all right, but I get exactly what you're saying. There's Black humor. There's certain things, certain comebacks, certain things that we say that's not in there. Like I said, outside of the Boondocks or Afro Samurai.
Yep.
Like we didn't really have that many of it. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you definitely want to try to continue. Like I said, and here's another thing. I don't know if you thought about it, but like, I don't know if you ever thought about crowdsourcing, but like a lot of these independent animated studios that I've been seeing or I've been coming across, they are either crowdsourcing or even just putting it out there to gain more attention and garner more, of the culture to chime in and rally behind it. And with the name that you've already built, You know what I'm saying? And then with your animation podcast and the connections that you already made, like I guarantee if you just even start putting out there, like floating the idea out there, whether it's not, even if it's not crowdsourced, or whether it is like you're working with an animator and just kind of just showing the progress. Hey, yo, this is the character, kind of like the Trill League approach, you know, where where he was like just putting the characters out, putting the character bio and getting people like, yo, this look dope. When is it gonna come out? Like, I'm working on it just to kind of keep it out there. Even something like that, I think that can possibly help out with that too, because then it kind of like you're working still at your own pace and you got people interested in it, but you're floating it out there, you know what I'm saying? And then as you build and people follow that journey, yeah, like I said, people like that's something that people like will now become attached to. Is like, oh, I can't wait. Kind of like how you said with Cannon Buster, you saw the animation, you was like, oh, this looked pretty dope, and you know, like I said, you gave it the full season because you were invested in that. And I think that, like I said, especially with how you think about comedy, and like a lot of comedians fans are the ones that follow them. They saw that grind and everything like that. They saw that work. It's like, yo, you know, even like some of the big dogs, there's still people like, hey, you know what? Paper Soldiers was actually good. You know what I'm saying? So I know, you know what I'm saying? Because like, it's that, because like they seen that grind. They seen it when Kevin Hart was like, oh, he's just doing these D-list movies, but now look at him, top of the world, and they still invested in him and stuff like that. So I think that like, you know what I'm saying? There's different ways to approach it, but like, just know, like the culture is definitely going to get behind it. I got no faith. I mean, I feel no faith. I got no doubt in my mind that they're going to get behind it, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you're right. I think it's just, like you said, I think that is a big part of it. Just start to get the content out there to get people hyped. You know, people are like, oh, that looks fire. Like, it's just like that. You're 100% right. And it's another thing too, is like you said, is building kind of like these resources or building this network. Being like, all right, yo, I hit you up, but hey man, you got some people I can hook up with. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, all right, cool. And then being able to jump back on the podcast and start to build a hype again, going on your podcast, going on other podcasts, but like, yo, now it's, you know, we need some crowdfunding, whatever the case may be. We need you guys to come through and help us out. And it's just like, you know, but so yeah, I mean, I'm still excited for it. I still, you know, I have like certain fight scenes in my head for the characters, and I'm like, yo, when people see this, they're gonna go crazy over this shit, man. So it's like, yeah.
But you know what I love about even how you talked about it? The very, very first thing you said was, I wanted to make sure I get the story down pat. A lot of people forget that what makes an anime great is the story. Now, if they have fire fights, then it's like, yo, that's the cherry on top of the cake. Because like one of my favorite animes that I like. So as much as I love Dragon Ball Z, I'm able to admit the story ain't the best, right?
For sure.
Like when they talk about the big three, when they bring up One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z, I say Naruto has the best story because I've seen that legit make people cry. Dragon Ball Z has the best action, you know what I'm saying? And the biggest draw. And then like as far as One Piece, it's just like it's a long ass watch, but it's one of those ones that was like how Naruto has, like, you can look up a list of fillers that you can remove and watch it. One Piece don't. And when you watch it, you're like, yo, these stories are actually freaking fire. Like, yo, this is really dope. So it's like I recognize what it is, but like one of my favorite animes, Death Note. I said Death Note had such an amazing story that I was like, yo, this wrote me in. Or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I said, if you want to get hit in the feels and have a good story, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood gonna take you there.
I mean, and that's the thing. It was like Death Note was the first anime that wasn't action based that I was like, all right, I got to give other anime a chance that's not action based.
Same.
Because I forgot who recommended me Death Note. But it was like, yo, Death Note, you have to watch it. And I was just like, all right. And somebody told me the premise. I was like, that kind of sounds kind of cool. So I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, everything that Light did made sense. You get it. You're doing good. You're killing who you have to kill. And you're like, wait a second. Wait, I'm kind of God here. I'm kind of God. So
right.
Hey man, I liked when you looked at me, man. You looked at my girl's butt, man. I ain't feeling that. What's your name, bro? Get you up out of here. So it's just like, yeah. So it's like, you know, it's crazy, man. But like, you know, like story is so important across the board. It's like, you know, when I do stand-up comedy, my shirt that I sell on stage is your story matters. So I understand how important stories are, because it's like, you know, like you said, the ice, the action is icing on top. It's like it makes those fight scenes mean something. You know what I'm saying? It's just like now when a person's going to fight somebody, it's like, yo, there's stakes behind this. You know, like when I watched Hunter x Hunter, and it's like Kurapika has to kill the Spider Gang, and you know the Spider Troop. It's just like, yo, hey man, like you did this to my family.
Yeah.
All you niggas gotta go.
All you niggas gotta go.
You know what I'm saying? He literally brought a shovel to the fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, so to me, it's like, you know, that fight scene. If you just show somebody that fight scene, it might be kind of dope, but to them they'll be like, but what was the stakes behind it? It's like, oh, this is why he came here with the smoke like this, because this and this and this happened. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, story is probably is the most important, and everything else kind of like falls in line right under it.
Yeah. So a couple more questions, I'll get you out of here. So you've been on record talking about, like, we know Frieza is obviously racist. However, they're saying Frieza beat the racist allegations now because of Black Frieza. I wanted to get your thoughts on Black Frieza.
Bro, so I'm up to date on the manga.
Me too.
Yeah. Like I'm real big on watching the spoilers for the DB Super manga and stuff like that. And when he came out and he was Black Frieza, I was like, you motherfuckers would do this.
Yeah.
There's only one way to make it to where I was like, ooh. The design looks so clean. I was just like, oh man. I was just like, I'm hyped. I mean, whenever they animated
that moment so petty though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was the most, because he came down and said, oh, y'all struggling? All right, let me get them out of here real quick. But also, let me bring y'all back to base form. I could have killed y'all, but I ain't. I'm out of here. I just wanted to show y'all I got this power. Like,
and also, I'm not done training yet either. Like, I've been training, and I'm not even done training.
Like, so petty, dog. So petty.
So now I'm hyped because I feel like now that was my thing too. I wanted, when you keep bringing Frieza back, I'm like, yo, he needs a real mission. It can't just be the monkeys. I got to kill the monkeys. It's just like, you got to give me a real mission. And I feel like now that he's getting this strong, Vegeta and Goku ain't his mission anymore. His mission is probably going to be Beerus or the gods.
It's definitely Beerus.
Yeah, so it's just like, yo, y'all not even at my level anymore. I'm not even. I don't care to fight y'all, because once I get Beerus out of here, I'd rather y'all rule under me anyways. I'd rather you have to take my, like, do what I have to do what I tell you to do than kill you.
Because also, we're finally going, like, most likely we're going to finally be able to see Beerus fight at full. Because remember, I think when he fought Goku in Battle of the Gods, he only got to what, 30% or 40% or something like that?
It was something kind of low. So
yeah, so we're going to finally get to see a full one. So, like, I'm excited about that. So another hot take, and this is something that one of the fan questions, man, there was like, Goku, he's known as a bad dad. However, a hot take is Gohan is a worse dad than Goku based off of this movie. And because they were saying that anytime that Goku left Earth he left his son, it was because there was an Earth-threatening event. Where Gohan, he wasn't picking up Pan because he was researching bugs, and that was not an Earth-threatening event. So I wanted to get, what's your take on that?
Look, man, at the end of the day, he's around Pan. She's seeing the influence.
Okay.
Goku has a son that looks exactly like him. Or did look exactly like him at one point. And then he probably got the haircut. It's like, yeah, I hate you, Dad. I don't want to be nothing like you. He just cut his hair off. He's just like, yeah, I ain't like this motherfucker. But, like, I mean, they're both terrible, but what do you expect? Monkey see, monkey do type shit. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
But it's just like, you sometimes, you either go the way of your parent or you go the opposite way of your parent.
Yep.
And I feel like Gohan doesn't even realize he's doing it, but he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's starting to lean towards Goku in the sense of like, all right, he's neglecting his children.
Yeah.
And luckily somebody like Piccolo's there to pick up the slack for him. Piccolo's a great dad to his child.
Yeah.
And at least I feel like with Piccolo, he's like, yo, fam, I ain't gonna let you end up like Goku. You need to train.
I feel like, I definitely feel like you on that.
And he's like, yo, honestly, me and you are friends. I ain't really friends with the pops like that anymore. We cool, but I'm friends with you. And you ain't about to be out here neglecting your kid, fam. So get on your shit. And I was like, so I mean, watching this last movie was it was pretty dope. It was
I rock with it.
Hella fan service for sure. But like, but I mean, I think that for Gohan's character development, I feel like because Vegeta has the best character development out of that whole show to me. I feel like
100%.
They need to redeem Gohan even more is to be like, all right, he has to find a balance between his family and actually fighting. Whereas Goku, he's a lost cause. He's out of here. He's done for.
Because when you think about Goku outside of the Saiyan saga, every villain responsible was because of Goku.
Right.
Every villain from Frieza on up was because, like I said, Frieza could have been dead, but Goku saved him. You know, Goku saved him. Cell was a reaction due to the Red Ribbon Army that Goku did way back then in Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Goku Boo again, like Goku Black, like everything, like even the Tournament of Power is because Goku. Like Goku is his own villain. He starts the issue, the world-threatening issue, and everything like that. So
that's a great observation. Of like he's actually the villain. But you know what? Too, I forget what I was gonna say. I feel like they can redeem Goku. They can redeem Goku, especially after reading the manga.
The manga's doing so much good stuff.
And I guess spoiler alert. Not fully spoiler alert, but like somewhat spoiler alert here. If you gotta leave for a second, but like Goku got a chance to see his pops or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe that will bring some type of like, all right, wait a second here. Like, my dad guy looks exactly like me. He, I want to probably learn a little bit more about here's the thing. He could have brought his dad back.
Yeah.
Hopefully with the Dragon Ball, they go like, yo, bring Bardock back. Like, yo, man, I want to talk to him. I want to see what he was about and, why did he send me here and, XYZ and stuff like that. And it's like, that can at least start to build Goku back up to be either one, a better parent himself, but at least give him some type of, depth, because I feel like he doesn't have any right now. He just sleeps like, who's the strongest?
Yeah,
you are. And it's just like, bro, this shit is getting old. It's getting repetitive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the one thing about the Broly movie that I was like, oh man, I like up until like we don't care about Canton City at all like that. Like we don't care about the city. When you watch Naruto, you get invested into the hidden leaf, like the village, right? So when the Broly movie came out and they showed us Planet Vegeta and they showed just the culture and the people, I said, yo, I kind of want to know more about the Saiyans in Planet Vegeta now. Like I didn't know that I wanted that until they showed me that. And I'm like, yo, I really want to know about that now. So it was like, yeah, like I said, they can redeem that. Then also one of the reasons why I love Vegeta, and like I said, I equate it to black people. I feel like Vegeta is the only person that does not call Goku Goku. He's like, don't let them call you your slave name. You are Kakarot. And I feel like that. I'm like, yo, Vegeta is like, yo, come back to your roots, bro. Like, get to your roots. And so it's like, it's that Goku really doesn't have a culture. He doesn't have roots. But like I said, that moment in the manga, you know what I'm saying? What we saw in Broly is like, yo, they can really start getting him back in touch with his Saiyan pride, his Saiyan roots and everything like that. And we learn, and they can redeem him.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Vegeta's Africa and Goku's, like I guess, like maybe, I won't say a black American, but kind of in a sense where it's just like, but he don't want to learn about the culture. I mean, me being a black American, I did my studies and my research, on African culture to get that. But it's like for him, it's like, I think that's actually a dope observation too. It's like, go into that world of like, all right, cool, start to deep dive into like who you really are. Yeah. And then like, if his friends are still calling him Goku, his close people, I understand. That's like, yo, that's what he met you as, you know what I'm saying? I get that. But like, kind of something we like, yo, my name is Kakarot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or like when he's telling other people, it's like, no, I'm Kakarot, I'm not Goku anymore. Like to new people that's coming in, like, that's Kakarot right there.
Right.
And it's like, yo, so I mean, they can redeem him. That's what frustrates me about the writers for Dragon Ball. I feel like they're just like they're doing like fan service. It's like, y'all being lazy, bro. Y'all can do There's fans that are doing their own, mangas, and they have better stories.
They do. Like I said, that whoever did that latest animation one, did y'all watch that?
I didn't watch it, but I saw a clip of it. Yeah, it's fire. It's dope.
Fire. All right. So what's more toxic? Goku, like, can he beat Goku or Batman versus Prep Time? Or Batman with Prep Time? What is a more toxic conversation? Because both of them will start arguments across the board. If you say, can he beat Goku though, or if you say, but Batman with Prep Time. So I'm trying to figure out, what do you think?
In my world, it's Goku versus can he beat Goku, or who can beat Goku type thing, right? Because like they had the One Punch Man, side him up, beating Goku, whatever. But the Prep Time Batman thing is always a great conversation, because it's just like, he's such a great detective. He finds out every single thing, and it's just like, once you watch, he has a plan for everybody, and he's like, yo, I had to have a contingency plan to take that out if I got out of hand, know. And it's just like, it's a tough. What's more toxic? Oh, man, I don't know. It's tough because, like I said, in my world, it is Goku, because that's when we deal with comic books, but it's like for the most part, we're more anime, if anything. But like, and I feel like in my world, it seems like Goku's bigger than Batman, but I don't know if he necessarily is.
I don't know. He's up there. He's getting up there, bro, because like Batman wasn't the representation at the Olympics yet. Goku was. And so
good point.
I'm just saying, like, all right. So I gotta ask the question that every nerd hates, that every nerd dreads. Your top 5 anime. And it, caveat, it does not have to be in order, and it can be currently.
Man. For nostalgia purposes, Dragon Ball's gonna always be in there as a whole. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like I always go back and watch the fight scenes. I was literally like the other day watching, Jiren versus Goku, him turning into Ultra Instinct. Yeah. Demon Slayer is in there. So that's 2. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
3. Shit. I can't give it to Attack on Titan, man.
What?
I can't, man. Like as much as I want to, it's just like I do have my other issues that are wrong with it. So that's 3 right there. Fam. I can't give it to Yu Yu Hakusho yet because I haven't finished it.
Okay.
But I'm on season 2, and I heard the other seasons after that aren't that strong. But I heard season 2 is like which is why everybody loved it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the shit that got me in love right now, hype. I mean, Jujutsu I literally right here. I got this.
Hey, I'm not mad at that choice. I am not mad at that choice. And here's the one thing I like about Jujutsu Kaisen, and you haven't watched it all, so there's so
I finished it. I finished
No, I'm talking about you haven't watched Naruto.
Yeah.
There's so many similarities to it, and usually that would take me out. I'd be like, bro, I'm like, yo, I can't. This is a mirror of it. This was Kaizen. It's so good that I'm like, I don't mind it. I do not mind the similarities.
Well, Ice on our podcast, when we were watching it, he was just like, man, they're just taking so much. I was like, yo, they're paying their respects. I mean, at the end of the day, Naruto got some stuff from Dragon Ball. Like Dragon Ball is a godfather in that sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Literally the blue and orange costume is like, stuff is inspired. It's just how it is. We're all inspired. My anime is going to go. Stuff I already had down information-wise from my anime. There is definitely inspiration from like not Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Dragon Ball, what else? I guess now a little bit of Demon Slayer. Like it's like, I mean, that's what happens. You kind of take from your favorite anime and kind of like make your own story around it, but it's going to be similarities in there. You know what I'm saying? Why people are going to love them. So I need one more. No, I gave you 4. I need one more. I'm looking at my Stain poster.
I was saying, I like how you're looking at the mangas. Like, okay, what I got over there?
I got a man. My hero has been good to me.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Even
My Hero has been.
I feel like the world is turning on My Hero lately.
Like I skipped
that last season wasn't that strong.
Yeah, and I also skipped a lot of the manga, but I'm caught up on the manga, but like because I skipped a lot of the fluff in the middle. Okay. But I'm caught up in the last like few, whatever. Yeah. And it's getting kind of wild.
Yeah.
But do I want to end it with My Hero? Shit, man.
I'm not mad at that choice if you do.
I'm looking around. Look at that guy. I haven't finished Mob Psycho yet. My people are killing me for that one.
Mob Psycho's up there. That's a fire one.
But yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'll give it My Hero, but I think My Hero is going to be changed out. Man, I know I have another. I said it before. I said my 5 before, and it wasn't. I don't know if My Hero was in there, but let's put it in there for now.
All right, cool. All right, so last segment that we normally do is recommendation. It could be something that you're reading, you're watching, you're listening to, but something that you think that our listeners or our viewers should check out.
Here's the thing: I haven't seen this yet, but I'm hyped about it, and that's Chainsaw Man.
Oh,
yeah,
you gonna love Chainsaw Man, bro.
Yeah, from what I've seen and from what people have been telling me, that read it, they're just like, this is up your alley. You're going to be all the way in. I'm taking out My Hero. I'm putting Death Note in there. So Death Note closes out my 5.
Okay.
So But yeah, Chainsaw Man, that's what I would recommend. I heard it. Did it finally get a release date? Like October 11th or something like that? Like,
I do believe so. I was just about to look that up because I cannot wait for that.
because they keep saying, "Oh, October." I'm like, "Yo, fam, it's September, fam. I need a release date."
Bro, fall animes, everything's coming back. Mob Psycho coming back, Bleach coming back. Like I said, I do believe Chainsaw Man. Like it's about to be a crazy fall for anime. I cannot wait for that, bro.
Yeah, so recommendation is like that. I would recommend that. I mean, I like Ranking of Kings. I didn't like how the last episode or two ended. Ranking of Kings was really, really good. That shocked me.
Okay.
I would say we talking about shocking anime. Like a buddy of mine, I was like, the animation didn't look that good to me. This little kid looked whatever. And then when you hear his story, you're like, shit.
Ooh, I got a recommendation for you. Have you already tried High School of Gods?
God of High School? Man, we ripped that shit to shreds on our podcast, bro.
Oh, I love the fights in God of High School so much.
The fights were dope, but I felt like it lost its identity. And somebody said
it did. I feel you on that.
Somebody said, like, I guess from the manga standpoint, like they cut a lot of shit because they were rushing, I guess, to get it out. And then Park Moon, we call him the biggest pump fake of all time. Like Park Moon, he came out the gate and flattened the whole island with it, with his hand. And then all of a sudden, like when they fight, I'm like, yo, he's not him. Nah. He's not him.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
So I was like, because I went into God of High School hype. I was like, yo, I saw some scenes. I was like, yo, this shit look fire.
Those first two episodes, you was like, yo,
getting busy. I would say like the first four or so. I was like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna give me good high scores for me, across the board. But then it just started to just
I agree with that. I was basing it off of just strictly the action. But yeah, as far as story wise and everything, like it did dwindle down fast.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess if they take their time, and I'll give season 2 a shot.
Yeah.
If they take their time for a season 2 and they get it and they take their time and get it done right, then if they can win me back, it's all good. I'm all for it. I'm open.
Dope. All right, so man, where can my people find you, and what would you want them to support you on?
Keenan Baker on everything, man. KEENAN across Baker across all platforms. Animation Podcast, man. Please follow that. Animation, SHUN podcast. That's what we've been doing. That's what we've been going hard with. Follow us on Patreon. We just hit over 100 subscribers. So now one of our,
congrats,
Rob right here, be taking us to a black barbershop. So you got to get a black haircut. So we're gonna record all that. But like, yeah, Animation, man. We're trying to get to where the point where it's just like, we want sponsorships, man. We want, these people to come in so we can, get paid. We're not necessarily getting paid really for it yet. We want the ears to go up, so we're trying to figure out how to do that also. And hopefully, being on your platform helps that out also. Just to get us out there to more listeners. Or Animation, SHUN, Animation, SHUN podcast. We got over 200 episodes, man. We've been out here doing it.
Congrats on that too. That longevity, man. Trust me. A lot of people don't understand how much it takes to get that grind in. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you start, and then, like you said, you may feel like, oh man, ain't nobody watching, but you have that grind, or you have that, and then things started going, and you start building that up. So like, man, definitely congrats on that longevity. Congrats on hitting that 100 subscribers and everything, man. Like I said, I'm going to continue to champion as many Blerds as possible and everything like that. And our viewers and listeners, they do follow up. So like I said, hopefully, I said, some people heard some dose. I mean, we just really geeked out. Like I didn't even really touch much into your comedy. We kind of really just geeked out on this one, which is what I love. I love giving people that opportunity to just kind of geek out. You know what I'm saying? Because you learn so much about people. About and again, we have those good debates, those good breaking things down, those moments and everything. So man. So I appreciate.
Whenever you're able, I'm able to. I'll jump back on it. Just let me know, man.
I got you.
Definitely. Yeah.
And if you're ever in Milwaukee, because I know you're a traveling comedian, like I said, hit us up, man. Come to we got to bring you in studio, man. We got like I said, we building a nerd safe haven here. So we got a Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, the Xbox, the PlayStation, then just filled with nerd shit here. Like, you know what I'm saying? We trying to bring more people into the studio, man, to kind of just do stuff, kick it, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. So yeah, if you ever come to Milwaukee, definitely stop through, bro.
Oh, will do. Yes, sir, man. I'll hit you up, man. Thank you again for having you. I mean, you didn't have to hit me up, man. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to have me as a guest, and I appreciate the hell out of that, man. I really do.
No doubt, man. So this is One-on-One with Deuces. I'm your boy Deuces. This has been the amazing Keenan Baker, and we are out. Peace.